Wonder Egg Priority, a show about 4 girls who buy eggs. They buy them, they crack them open, they sleep with them, they sleep with the eggs. That's the show. And in that brilliant concept, I've found religion. That's right, my fellow agnostics. I've been baptized with the holy yoke, and I'm ready to talk way too much about this year's best grocery-based anime. So let's crack it open, shall we? Careful if you don't want to get spoiled rotten, and also, content warning. I don't have an egg punt for that, we're gonna discuss some heavy stuff. But if that's all well and good, then hold on to those huevos, cause it's egg time, baby. Here's a look at 5 scenes from Wonder Egg Priority that I found particularly exciting. Episode 1 is a lot to take in. 1 minute we're buying eggs, next minute we're curled up in a fetal position, and the minute after, we're summoning magic weapons to slay monsters and paint a purgatory nightmare world with geysers of blood. So yeah, a bit different from what I was expecting. Wonder Egg dances across different tones, tempos, and genres, and somehow it all ties together. Somehow the show earns an identity, a purpose, a strong main character. And the first scene I want to highlight is when it all clicks. This is when our lead character Ai makes sense of her nightmare, what she's fighting against. Surrounded by demons who supposedly see no evil, she can't be a bystander. She has to change. She has to be bold. And that's why this heroic about face, so sudden and unlike everything that came before it, feels so right, so satisfying. Wonder Egg offers a great deal of complexity in its themes and presentation, but it is not subtle. Wonder Egg is tired of subtlety. Ai Oto is tired of subtlety, tired of shrinking away from the world, despite how terrifying and confusing it can be. She cannot yet understand her friend's decision to take her own life. She can't quite grapple with her own feelings of guilt and resentment. But even the smallest breakthrough is hugely powerful. She doesn't need to have all the answers. Just identifying why she's afraid or angry, just opening her eyes or her heart to other people, that's enough. That's enormous, actually. There's an amazing amount of technical skill and spectacular imagery in this series, especially in this scene. But it's that emotional through line that makes it truly special. And we have plenty more moments like that on the way, because man, we are just getting started. Mathematically speaking, you can just take everything great about the scene we just discussed and double it. Because now we have not just 1, but 2 traumatized monster-slaying magical girls. Running, jumping, yelling, having intense emotional breakthroughs, all of those sorts of amazing things we already covered. But now, I want to talk sound. Because this scene contains one of the most thrilling musical moments I've ever experienced in anime. Alright, here goes. It starts with this fearsome, Muppet-like monstrosity rising to meet our heroes. We hear her presence in a ghostly soprano, sailing over echoing bells and synths that feel caught in an endless loop. The girls leap into battle, but there's no reassuring fanfare or catchy dance mix, not this time. Only the rushing of wind, while this eerie loop keeps playing. The tension remains. We're lost in this sea of blue. Then, Rika's blades cut through the mix. Without a second to breathe, the bass hits the floor. We rebound upward, and there is Ai, descending from the heavens. As soon as her feet make contact, that's where it hits. Oh, it's incredible. And the rest of the track does not let up. This distorted children's choir Ewok celebration thing panning back and forth, it's just... Am I overselling this? Did anyone else shit themselves while watching this scene? I still remember how hard my heart was pounding. The sound design, is incredible in this series. The sound effects blend so well with the OST, and yeah, these guys, they're doing such a great job with the music. I really dig the EDM selection, and I could ramble about this all day. I can't. The point is, I need that music nerd Shabu to watch this show, and I really need that OST, which as of now seems like it's locked behind $300 worth of Blu-rays, but I'm sure there's a separate release date coming soon, right?
No commento.
Well, okay then. Thanks for nothing. So far, we've covered the most dramatic, larger-than-life scenes of Wonder Egg Priority, and they are amazing. But this anime absolutely excels at quiet moments too, so let's shift gears a bit. Halfway through episode 1, we learn more about the person I used to be, and the person she's trying to save. The whole flashback is so captivating. There's a lot to be said about the visual language director Wakabayashi borrows from his greatest influences. And yeah, I'm no Sakuga blogger, but I recognize a bit of it. Lots of foot shots. Very cool. Plus, I love how Ai's lowered perspective makes Koito feel so intimidating at first, until she's brought through that barrier. There's this amazing soundscape throughout the scene too, especially with the falling rain. And of course, I'll forever be grateful for this image.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
The greatest achievement out of this whole sequence, though, is Ai's body language. Shuddering at Koito's approach, so fearful and frustrated. I can feel it. I can remember that fear, and especially that instinct to recoil at someone's touch when you've closed yourself off. Jesus Christ, I don't know what else to say. It feels so real. This cut, this moment of Koito reaching out and I shrinking away, it hits me hard. Those few seconds are burned into my memory. I think part of the reason is emotional intimacy is a pretty common theme in TV anime, but we don't quite as often see the importance of physical intimacy between friends, family, and partners. It's difficult to pull off, and I imagine there's a cultural element to this too. But in Wonder Egg Priority, it really stands out. So many scenes have this tactile element, and it serves the characters so well. I'm glad they're taking this risk, especially with, the times that we're living in. This emphasis on physical contact feels more important than ever. And that's pretty cool. So one of my favorite characters in anything ever is Asuka Langley Soryu from Neon Genesis Evangelion. She's a bratty teenager, self-centered, abrasive, disrespectful, and frankly, abusive towards other characters who absolutely do not deserve it. But I love her. She feels very human. In combating her own trauma and insecurities, she can't help but hurt others, and, unfortunately, pretend not to care. When Rika was introduced, being the way that she is, I couldn't help but draw comparisons. This damaged teen who only finds purpose in fighting monsters on a battlefield so close to the person she lost, and all while looking damn good in that jacket. Of course I thought of Asuka. Not that it was intentional or anything, but that was just the random association I came up with. And then, this scene happens. I saw so many parallels here. Talking to herself in the bath, languishing in self-hatred, and ranting about how disgusting everyone in her life is. But the more I thought about it, I realized Rika was more than an echo of a character I already liked, and in fact, very much her own character. Rika is hardly so quick-tempered or spiteful. She acts out quite a bit, but it doesn't seem so much a way of gaining attention or acceptance, more about keeping distance. She plays up her own narcissism, assuring herself every connection is only skin deep. Within her self-loathing is this unsettling calm. This isn't a moment of breakdown, but somber serenity. She smiles, and you have to worry all the more for her. I have mixed feelings about cutting to this scene right after one of the cutest conversations in the show. My smile evaporated instantaneously, but it left a strong impression, to say the least. Rika's whole character leaves a very strong impression, and I'm grateful that just maybe, when all is said and done, she'll end up as another favorite of mine. But, wow. Talking about traumatized youths is actually kind of a downer, I'm realizing. One more scene to go. Let's try to end things on a lighter note. Alright, so I finally get to talk about Neiru. She's a very interesting character. Very blunt and earnest. Prideful and self-sufficient. Her poise sets her apart from the rest of the young, troubled cast in a big way. And that's despite the truth she hides, despite carrying such a huge burden of her own. Neiru has a lot going on, but it's not clear what from the start. There's an aura of mystery about her. Her dreams are kept hidden from us long after her introduction. But we still learn about her in those first few episodes. We see her grow. Just a little while after meeting Ai, Neiru starts to open up. She learns to depend on a new friend, and seems to admit even someone like her might need saving.
本当は自分のためじゃない？どういう意味？今の自分が嫌い。だから行く。怖いけどまた行く。嫌いな自分を変えたいから。あなたも？一緒にしないで。私は私が大好き。
And I could talk about the answers we get in episode 5. How her words are recontextualized in such a dark and interesting way, but since we're ending things on a lighter note, this scene. Is that not the most adorable freaking thing you've ever seen in your entire life? Come on! When I see her strike this pose, I feel like we get plenty of answers about her character already. I love myself might first sound like petty denial, but here it feels like an act of defiance. Neiru is working hard to hold that self-respect. She wants to live, wants to own every part of who she is. I know this gymnastics stunt is, it's just a visual gag. I'm reading into it way too much. But against all the dark undertones of Neiru's past, there's something beautiful in her recovery. Nothing shouts the phrase, "I love myself," louder than this pose. And by owning it, she might overcome her burden. This temptation of death she speaks of. Instead of falling into that dark place, maybe, eventually, I hope, she'll stick the landing. Will Wonder Egg Priority stick the landing too? God, I hope so. Obviously, I'm in love with this show, but with so much ground to cover, it could go in any number of directions, and who knows what'll happen. We're dealing with sensitive topics here. Abuse, suicide, survivor's guilt, all viewed through the eyes of children. Wonder Egg Priority feels driven by a growing awareness about all of these issues, but that doesn't make them any easier to navigate. This show has already made me uncomfortable, challenged me in ways that I feel are productive, but that could change, and I certainly can't speak for everyone. But one thing's for sure, one way or another, this show is gonna get people talking. Hell, it already has. So let me know what you think. Have you been indoctrinated like me? Do you wish to take the yoke upon you and spread the frothy gospel of egg? Or maybe you don't feel quite as excited. I'm not excluding anybody here. Feel free to hit that sunny side up and subscribe if you want to join me again sometime. But my brain is fried, so for now, auf Wiedersehen.